Now, if you're anything like me, you're going to have a fear of being seen as woo-woo when you start exploring your intuition. I had a really big issue with coming out around it. It literally was that I was in Caroline Leon's business program, and I had hit a point where I'd had a session with a mentor, and I'd said, "What is up with my sensitivity?" And he said to me, "You're a medium." And I was like, not so keen on that word, thank you very much. And he also said channel. And for me, it just showed how strongly we can have preference around wording even. But I'll come back to that. So I remember that I was uncovering that, okay, this is really what's going on in my work, and this is a natural skill, and how do I lean into this? And my fear was, I started attracting people to who were hearing about my work and working in this way. And I don't want people to think they can't have a conversation with me. I don't want people to think that I can't talk at the school gates about, the price of bread or something, because I can. I'm a human, I'm living in the material world, and I can talk about all of those things and have normal conversations. It just so happens that I also have this other field of vision and these other experiences. So there's something around a fear of perception for me, that I still wanted to be seen as like normal as well, that I could still fit in, and people weren't going to be scared that I was going to be washing their auras or dancing around them with a crystal or something. This was like the version in my head, yeah. Because I remember when I was younger, I was taken to Mind Body Spirit Fairs by Marion, who was like my first mentor, and she kind of saw the skills in me basically. And I remember being incredibly curious but also averse. I thought, oh no, these aren't my people, are they? Or like, are they a bit crazy? Or but yeah, I was really curious as well, and I was feeling stuff in that space. And I think we can have these different parts of us. We can have the bit of us that so wants to be normal and conventional and be able to do the things that everyone else is doing, and then we can have the part of us that actually we're just different. We don't care, and actually being different is exciting. So sometimes when we're starting to explore the realm of intuition, we can come up against these conflicting parts in us that present these fears about being different, and will I be seen as a weirdo, and will people want to have a conversation with me? And I'm still hesitant, I am, about telling someone on the school gates what I do. It's much easier for me to say, oh, I'm a healer and a therapist, and someone knows what that is, not therapist in the traditional sense of counselling. And if they ask more questions, then I'll go into it more deeply. But for a lot of people, they're not interested. But I'll tell people. Oh well, most of them are actually. But I remember hearing this statistic, which I thought was interesting. So 50% of the population believe in angels. So you've got a 50-50 chance that someone is open to the woo-woo, basically, is what my interpretation of that was. So and I think when we don't share ourselves, when we don't share these ideas, we can actually be doing the world a disservice. We could be opening up to a much deeper conversation. And I had this recently, like 2 people that I thought, oh, they're science-based, we're so not going to be on the same page with ideas around reality, etc. It turns out it's the complete opposite. Maybe that's the realm within which they've been in, but actually they hit a point where they're either doing not quite a U-turn, but it's just like they're really thinking about things differently, and they've been some of the most curious around spirituality, embodiment, whatever it is, intuition. So don't be afraid to share yourself. Maybe don't do it with the person that you suspect is the giant narcissist in the office. I would not advise that. But you can always test the waters and lead in, and often people are way more curious and open than you would believe that they are, which is wonderful. So I guess honouring the part of you that feels tentative around the woo-woo, and knowing that actually you don't have to buy into all of it or believe in all of it just because you start going down a certain path. Maybe you're someone that's just in love with angels, and maybe you're someone that ends up going much more down a nature route and is interested in more shamanic practices, or I think now we don't have to just sit in one camp either. I very much go through, I go by my experiences. Sometimes things just arise and I'm like, oh, okay, that's the thing, that's real, all right then. It wasn't something that I was searching for. It's more that it comes into view, and then I have a realization or an understanding with it, or connecting with, whether it's ancestral pain or various things. So woo woo, it's fine for it to feel a bit scary and weird, and it's still, I still am not comfortable calling myself a medium, and basically I am. I call myself an intuitive and a channel, and that feels very natural and very congruent for me. It's just, sometimes particular words throw us off. The same with, I prefer highly sensitive over empath, and it's just preference. But if someone tells me they're an empath, I know exactly what they're talking about, and it's completely fine. That's their word of preference. So there's not judgment here. It's just acknowledging our own little picadillos around our funny fancies around preferences over what we do and don't like, and what we are drawn to and what we're not, and keeping an open mind is a really important thing. So you're not the only one that is scared to be woo-woo. Me too.